Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing, I think this is kind of sort of a tag. I've seen this go around quite a bit, especially when you do it for like your whole makeup collection. But today I'm going to be focusing on eyeshadow palettes. More specifically, if a disaster happened and I lost my entire makeup collection, what are the first 10 eyeshadow palettes I would buy? Now, I know for a lot of the other challenges that I've watched, it's been incredibly hypothetical, and people just kind of go through and pick out their 10 favorite eyeshadow palettes. Because I like to overthink everything, wanted to take it one step further and actually confirm, like, if this happened today, and I lost everything, and I had to go and place either an Ulta order or go out shopping, could I buy all of these palettes today, as of the day of filming, July 24th? 2022. Because a lot of the palettes that I love, like, you just can't buy them anymore because of they were limited edition, or because they sold out, or because the brand no longer exists. There's just so many of my favorites that just are no longer accessible. So I wanted to challenge myself and pick out 10 palettes that I would buy first thing if I lost my whole makeup collection, but actually ensure and like confirm that they're all available for sale as of filming, which was challenging, honestly. That being said, these aren't my top 10 favorite palettes, but these are the first 10 palettes I would buy if I lost everything. Okay, I'm excited. I overthought this because I overthink everything, but I had a lot of fun doing this. So let's go ahead and jump in. And to be frank, like, these aren't in any real like order. I'm not ranking them 1 through 10, but like I would buy these in kind of like one batch if I lost everything. The first palette that I would buy in this batch would be from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Mad for Matte 2 palette, and this just gives me a lot of my basic kind of neutrals that I would need, but also gives me that nice fun like pop of fall, like those oranges and that purple that I would need, along with the nice matte black. I want to make sure a couple of these palettes have matte blacks, but I need a matte black for a lot of things in my life, so I would need to make sure I get this. And this is still available for sale, though they changed the name on me. Like, I searched online and I almost panicked because I was like, oh my god, they don't sell this anymore. They do. It's now called the Summer Breeze palette. It's like literally the exact same. I matched it shade for shade. It's no longer called the Mad for Matte 2. It's called the e.l.f. Summer Breeze palette. So there you go. I think this is one of my favorite, like, most affordable palettes of all time. This, as of looking at it on Amazon, it's only $6, but I believe the regular price was $10 for these 10 pan Mad for Matte shadows from e.l.f. The other palettes are pretty good too, but this is really the only one I held on to. I think I owned all the 10 pan palettes from e.l.f. at one point, but this was the only one that survived every declutter because it's just so good. I love these shades. It's such a nice compact palette. I love the packaging, and the shade quality is just really, really good. These are all very pigmented and just beautiful, beautiful shades. So first one. Next, we have actually the only Natasha Denona palette I am including in this list, and that is a mini. I'm including the mini Xenon palette just because I wanted to make sure I would be able to do that kind of smoky look, and this palette has these 2 matte grays, and these are pretty unique to my collection. I don't really have a whole lot of actual gray shadows. I have a lot of black shadows, I have a lot of white shadows. I don't really have a lot of grays, especially matte. Like, I've got some silver, like shimmery gray colors, some silver colors, but not a whole lot of matte. So this is one of the first things that I thought of picking up. Again, we've got a nice matte black, we've got a beautiful silver here, we got those mattes, and then we have another, for me, what would be a nice kind of base shade. For other complexions, it might be a transition or a highlight in the inner corner or on the brow bone. But this would be, I think, in this whole batch, would be the only Natasha palette that I would go out and buy. And if you missed it, I did rank all the palettes that I own from Natasha Denona in my entire collection, from my least favorite all the way up to my favorite. If you missed that, I'll throw that up in the cards. Okay, next, I had to go back and double check that this was available because they did, file for bankruptcy recently, but it is still available for sale both on their website and on Amazon. This is the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette, the original Zodiac palette. And I picked this because I wanted to have this amazing variety of baked shimmery shades. Like, this is basically every shimmer shade that I would need. These are beautiful, and I love everything about this palette except for this highlighter in the middle. It's not a good highlighter. It doesn't really blend out. It kind of sticks wherever you put it. That being said, it makes a good inner corner highlight, but not a good face highlight. Don't use it for face highlight. But this palette, I knew I would need this. I have every single big Zodiac palette that BH Cosmetics has put out. They're back here somewhere, but this one's my favorite. I love the, specifically, like the green and like the olive tones up here for Capricorn and Sagittarius are gorgeous. I love all the baked shades, but the mattes are so pigmented. Like, I've used this more times than I can count, and I don't think you can tell that there's a dip in any of these shades at all. They're, I love this palette. So I had to make sure I picked this up. Next, to kind of build out what would be more of like my personal style, my unique shade choices, I included the Beautbean and Shroud It's Freakin Bats palette. And I thought this was limited edition, but as of today, I checked the website, you can still buy this. I don't know how long it's going to be available, but it is available as of filming. So I wanted to include this because I would most certainly pick this up. There's another palette that I liked too, but that one's no longer available. It's the Lethal is Dead collab palette with Teresa is Dead and Lethal Cosmetics. But this one, I love the beautiful like chartreuse shades. You got a matte, you got a shimmer. I love the green, I love the purples. This is just stunning. And I knew I wanted to kind of build out, not just have my go-to neutrals, but have some fun shades to play with. So, including this. Next, to kind of build out more of that color story that I'm looking for, I would go out and pick up the Sugar Pill Fun Size eyeshadow palette. I checked, and on the Sugar Pill website, it is still available traditionally. It's sold out right now, but it is going to come back in stock. So I wanted to make sure I confirmed that. What is available right now is the 2 palette, and actually I do want to buy that, so I think I'm going to pick that up sometime soon, but the Fun Size 2 palette was available on the website, whereas this one, it's kind of back-ordered right now, but it is going to still be available. And this just has all of your beautiful kind of jewel pastel tones, and I love just the packaging. I love it. It's stunning. So I wanted to be able to, along with the Beautbean palette, kind of build out that the more vibrant colors in my eyeshadow collection. To kind of round out those colors, I love green eyeshadow. If you've not been with my channel for a bit, I just love the way green eyeshadow looks, and one of the best palettes I have ever found for green eyeshadow is the Juicy Olive palette from Give Me Glow, and this is still available for purchase. I double checked that. It's gorgeous. These are some of the most blendable, beautiful green shades I have ever seen, and they just pop. And it's like effortless. Like you could put this together. The shades almost blend themselves on my eyes, and they're just gorgeous. I love them. And if out of all of my palettes, if I had to pick just one green palette to rebuy if I lost everything, it would be this one. All right, next I have 3 palettes here that are in a series that I love so much that I knew these would probably be among the first I would go out and rebuy if anything happened to my makeup collection. So while I was researching for this video, I looked these palettes up to see where they would be available for sale, and I almost had a heart attack because I did not find them at first. I was terrified. I was like, oh no, these better still be available. And I eventually found them. So let's talk about the Lorac Pro 1, 2, and 3. So this is the Lorac Pro 1 palette, the original palette that kind of started it all. This was hyped in early YouTube and Instagram and Pinterest. Back, I used to watch, follow makeup tutorials on Pinterest too. This was everywhere. For good reason. This is an amazing palette. These shades are stunning. I love this palette to death. And this is all of your basic neutrals. You've got mattes on the top, shimmers on the bottom. I take this whenever I travel, especially if I'm traveling for like a formal event. This is everything you would need for a beautiful, natural, smoky, dramatic, daytime, nighttime, anytime eye for any kind of event. I love this. So this, I had to confirm, it's not available on the Lorac Pro website, but it is available through Beauty Bay as of filming. Unfortunately, I do think Lorac is phasing out these palettes for their new line of palettes. I'll throw a picture up right here, but they look like the Pro palettes, like Pro in all caps. So they have a Soleil palette, they have a Noir palette, and I think they are phasing these ones out and replacing them with those palettes, which is going to make me very sad. I'm really happy I have these, but like, they should keep them. I don't know why they're getting rid of them or replacing them. I have not picked up the new palettes. I might pick them up just to compare them to the originals and see what they are. But to be frank, like if you can find this, I would say grab it. It's amazing. Next, we have the Lorac Pro 2 palette, which is the cool toned counterpart. And this was really my first introduction to super, super cool tone shades. And again, just that formula, the shades, stunning. They're beautiful. And this one is actually available on Lorac Pro website, and as of now, it is on sale for $31.20. So it might not last for long. That's why I think that they're trying to get rid of these. So they're on sale. They're available there. The only ones available on the Lorac Pro website are the 2 and the 4, which I don't own palette number 4 because that color story was everywhere when it came out, and I didn't feel like I needed it for my collection. But the second one, beautiful. So then we have this one, which I would of course also pick up. And then we have the Lorac Pro 3, which is all of your warm tones. Beautiful, beautiful. Again, this one not available on the Lorac website, but it is available through Beauty Bay as of now. So again, if you are at all interested in the original Lorac Pro palettes, I would say pick them up now, because it looks like they're getting rid of them, they're phasing them out. But I know that if I lost everything, those, like, this would be in my cart in no time, all 3 palettes, because I love these so much. So that is 9 palettes out of the 10. The last palette, which I'm happy is still available because this was originally limited edition, and then it blew up on YouTube, it blew up in the beauty community, and for good reason. This is one of those palettes that was not overhyped. I think it was hyped just enough because it's such a good palette. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This palette is so versatile and so good. I love that it's not like a boring neutral palette. It's not necessarily an all peach palette. If you're looking for peach eyeshadows, you're not necessarily going to find that here. But if you're looking for a well-rounded, how do I explain this? A well-rounded, versatile, like literal everyday, no matter what time of year palette, this is it. You can get some of the most beautiful looks out of this. And I love the scent. Mine still has the peach scent after all of these years. I've had this for so long, and I almost rebought this already because I ran out of the shade Luscious. I repotted this into a single pan to use in my Petty Project pan. If you missed the last update, I will throw that up in the cards. But I thought about rebuying this, and I think out of all of these, I think this is going to be the one I actually do rebuy, non-hypothetically, because I love this palette so much. It's so great. So again, if you can get your hands on this, this is available, I know, at Sephora, at Ulta, on Amazon. If you can grab it, I would say do, because it's great. And again, this would be this, and I think out of all of these, I'll probably grab these 4 first, and then I'm gonna go get the rest. So there we have it. Those are the first 10 eyeshadow palettes that are currently available for sale that I would buy if I lost my entire makeup collection, which is a very sad thing to think about. Let me know down below what's the first eyeshadow palette you would buy if you had to restart your collection from scratch. And let me know if you want to see this same challenge, but for the entire collection. So instead of just what are the first 10 eyeshadow palettes I would buy, let me know if you want to see what are the first 10 makeup products as a whole I would buy, because I could do that too. I will overthink it, but I will have fun with that too. So let me know if you want to see it. Thank you guys for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.